Does your website make you cringe a little when someone asks for the link? Or maybe you're avoiding sending people there because you know it's not representing your business well? If you're nodding along, then this video is for you. Today, I'm going to share the clear signs that it's time to stop putting it off and invest in a professional website redesign. Whether you built your current site yourself years ago, hired someone, or it's just outdated, there comes a point where your website stops working for you and starts working against you. Let's figure out if you've hit that point. Welcome to the Confident Client series, where I guide you from wondering about hiring a designer to knowing your next step. I'm Meg, and I'm a Squarespace web designer and SEO specialist, and for this journey in this series, I'll be your confidence catalyst. I help women service providers and creative professionals like you bridge the gap between their expertise and their online presence, so they can show up confidently online instead of feeling embarrassed or uncertain about their websites. I'm fortunate that I get to work with talented business owners who are incredible at what they do, but sometimes their current website doesn't reflect that. And that gap, it's costing them opportunities and confidence every single day. So today I want to help you identify whether your website has reached that tipping point, where it's actually working against you instead of for you. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to cover 8 clear signs that it's time for professional redesign. Some will be obvious and some will be a little more sneaky. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where your website stands and whether waiting is actually costing you more than investing in a redesign would. Because here's the thing you need to remember. Your website isn't just about looking nice. It's about credibility, functionality, and getting results. So we're going to look at this from those angles. So let's get to it. Sign number 1, your website looks dated. The first and most obvious sign, your website looks like it's from circa 2015 or earlier. I've seen a few that were like, hello, 90s are calling. Anyway, here's why it matters. When someone lands on a clearly outdated website, they're going to make instant judgments. Is this business still operating? If they don't seem to care about their online presence, will they care about my project? This looks a little unprofessional, so I'm going to move on to somebody else. What does a dated website look like? Maybe it's got heavy flash animations or auto-playing music or videos. Please note, these things are not only outdated, but they're also an issue from an accessibility standpoint, which is really important these days and important for your SEO. Having a little background video isn't such a bad thing, but it needs to be subtle. It needs to have no sound. You have tiny, tiny texts on very busy or patterned backgrounds. Or do you have multiple fonts fighting for attention? You really only need 3 fonts maximum: a header, a body, and an accent. Anything more than that, and it's just going to look like chaos and turn people off. You are using outdated photos, whether those are old professional photos of you that no longer look like you or reflect you, or they're outdated stock photos that, well, everybody has seen them across the internet. Your images or your design doesn't match your business. So, for example, maybe you're a financial coach or a lawyer, but your website is full of cute animations or illustrations or very informal handwritten fonts. And design trends evolve for good reasons. They many times will help improve usability and user experience, but you don't need to chase every trend. Bottom line, your site needs to look modern and professional. If it doesn't, you could be losing credibility before anyone even reads your content. Sign number 2, it's not mobile friendly. If your website doesn't work well on phones and tablets, but most especially phones, that's a warning sign. More than 60% of web traffic now comes from mobile devices. If your site doesn't work on phones, you could be turning away more than half of your potential visitors. So what does not being mobile friendly look like? The text is too small to read without zooming in. Your buttons or your links are impossible to tap, or they're just too close together to be able to click through easily. Your images aren't scaling properly. You have elements like your text boxes and your images that are overlapping or obscuring each other so they can't be read. Or on the flip side, there's large gaps of spaces in between them. And finally, if your website takes forever to load on a phone, it's going to turn people. Think about it. If someone hears about you at a networking, pulls out their phone right there to check out your site, and it's a disaster, they're going to give up and forget about you. And then it's a lost opportunity you'll never even know about. Doesn't matter if your site looks great on desktop. They're not going to go there. So what do we do? Most modern platforms like Squarespace, which I work on, support mobile responsive design, meaning that your site can look good and function properly on any device. So if your current site isn't responsive, this alone is reason enough to do a redesign. And I'll link above a video that I did that shares 3 free tools that can help you see how your website looks on different devices so you can see if yours is responsive or not. And number 3, it doesn't reflect your current business. Your website is telling an old story. Your business has evolved, but your website hasn't kept up. Here's some common scenarios where that happens. You've changed your services over time as your business has grown and evolved, but your site is still showing your offerings. Your ideal client has changed, but your messaging hasn't. You raised your rates, but your site is still attracting bargain hunters. You've niched down, but your site is still too general and broad. Your brand has matured, but your website still feels beginner level. When your website doesn't match where you are now, you're going to attract the wrong clients or confuse the right ones. Either way, you're making it harder to book the work you actually want to do. It's not an uncommon scenario to have successful business owners with websites that don't reflect their level of expertise or service. When you've grown, your website needs to also reflect that growth. You're not the same business you were 3 years ago, so why would you want your website to be? So here's a question to ask. If your dream client landed on your website right now, would they immediately understand that you're the perfect fit for them based on the copy and design images? If not, it's time to look at your messaging and possibly at a redesign. Sign number 4, it's not converting visitors. You're getting traffic, but nobody's actually contacting you or taking the action you want them to take. Your website's job isn't just to exist. It has to serve a purpose, whether that's to turn visitors into leads or clients, to grow your email list, to book a service, enroll in a course, buy your product. It's to get people to take the action. If people are visiting but not taking the action you want them to, something's broken. Here's some common conversion killers. No clear call to action. What should they do next? You need to tell them. Conversely, giving them too many options, that can confuse visitors. There's no trust signals. There's no testimonials, no credentials, no photos of you, nothing at all. And having an unclear value proposition. On a technical side, maybe your contact form is buried or worse, broken and not working, so even if they try to contact you, they can't get through. Finally, if your website is loading incredibly slowly, people are going to bounce. How do you know if it's not converting? Well, my friends, you're going to have to suck it up and you're going to need to look at the data. You're going to have to look at your metrics. Now, whether you're using Google Analytics, Google Search Console, Fathom Analytics, or anything else, you need to take a look and see what the data is telling you. Are people leaving immediately after viewing one page, showing up as a high bounce rate? Are you not seeing people clicking on your call to action buttons? Are they spending less than 30 seconds on your site? Is no one filling out your contact form, provided it's working appropriately? You need to try and figure out what your conversion rate is. So calculating the amount of traffic that you have coming in and the action that's being taken, figuring out what % of those people coming in are taking the action you want them to do. If it's not hitting your targets, you need to take a look at that more deeply. So if anything's a red flags, then your site isn't doing its job. So what's the designer's role in this? A good professional designer isn't just there to make things look pretty. They're going to create a strategic user experience that guides the visitors to your website towards taking the action you want them to take. They're going to guide them along the customer journey. That's the difference between having a website and a business tool. And now the 5th sign, and this one's important. You feel embarrassed or reluctant to share your website link. So maybe you know this feeling. Someone asks you for your website and you start to make excuses why you can't share it. You send them to your social media profiles instead of your website. Or you share it, but you warn people, hey, it's being updated, but it's really been about 6 months that it's been being updated. Or you make any other kind of qualifiers for excuses so that when they land on your page, they'll be like, oh, well, it's okay. Or worse, Maybe you actively avoid networking because you know people will ask and you just don't want to put it out there. And when you're typing in your home website link, you're cringy, maybe visibly or maybe just on the inside. Your website should be something you're proud to share. If you're proud of your business and your expertise in what you do, your website should be one of your best marketing tools, not some dirty little secret to keep hidden. If you're embarrassed by it, imagine how potential clients will feel when they see it. Beyond lost business, there's an emotional toll to this. Every time you avoid sharing your link, you're reinforcing that your business isn't quite there yet. That impacts your confidence, your pricing conversations, your whole presence. And people will pick up on that. Imagine instead that someone asks for your website and you light up. You're excited. That link is on your business card, your email signature. You should want to share it anywhere and everywhere. You're excited to share it because you know it represents you well. Your energy is palpable and it affects everything about how you show up in your business. If you show up excited about your business, potential customers will be too. Now, here's your sixth sign. You can't update your website yourself. What if your website feels like it's on lockdown? You can't make simple updates without it hiring someone or without the fear of just breaking something every time you go in. Here's what this can look like. Maybe you are locked out on the back end. Maybe you didn't get permissions from your web developer, web designer, and they're kind of, holding your website hostage a little bit. You don't have access to even log in to do anything. Or maybe your platform is so outdated and you haven't been in there for so long that you can't figure out how to do anything. If you have to email your web designer developer for every tiny little change, let me clarify, this is not the same as you not wanting to do this work and hiring somebody. I'm talking about when you can't even get in there to do it the way you want to. Adding a blog post feels like rocket science. You're afraid to touch anything in case it breaks. And any little update you hire someone to do is going to cost you $100 or more every single time. And it just keeps adding. Why is this costing you? Well, your business probably moves fast. You might be launching new services, updating your pricing, getting new testimonials, changing your schedules, your course content. If you can't update these things quickly and with ease, well, your website becomes inaccurate and unusable, which means lost opportunities and confused clients, and a whole lot of unnecessary stress for you. But there's a better way. Most platforms, like Squarespace, which I use, are designed for business owners to be able to be managed themselves if they want to. The right professional designer is going to set everything up beautifully and prepare you so you can make updates easily, no coding required. You stay in control while having a professional foundation in place. Sign 7, it's hurting your SEO. If your website isn't showing up in search results or in AI platforms now, you're invisible to potential clients looking for your services. So you could have technical SEO problems like super slow loading times, it not being mobile friendly, having broken links throughout your site, missing SEO descriptions and titles for your pages, poor page hierarchy, so improper use of headings and how your content is structured that helps search engines read your content and serve it properly. Your images are not optimized. Maybe you're lacking a security certificate. I could go on and on. Worse yet, you have not submitted them to either Google or Bing so that they can be indexed and found. The engines don't know you're out there. They're not going to look for you. The impact of this is businesses need to be findable, especially local businesses. If someone in your city Googles therapist near me or a business coach in Boston, Mass, and you don't show up because your website is technically broken, you're losing clients to competitors every single day. But there's some good news. A professional redesign with an experienced designer with solid SEO skills can address all of these technical issues from the ground up for you. You'll be able to start with a solid SEO foundation in place instead of trying to patch an old broken site. And this isn't just about rankings. AI has changed the game. And you want to be found where people are searching. And now they're searching on AI platforms too. So a solid SEO foundation and building your brand recognition matters more than ever. Actually, just going to pause and do a quick interruption here to note that this last section of the video, when I went into edit, was corrupted. So I had to go back and I am re-recording this whole last section of the video. So if you notice any kind of continuity blips between lighting, because it's an entirely different time of day, that's why. Tech demons got me. Happens to all of us. So thanks for bearing with me, and let's get back to wrapping this video up. So sign number 8, the final sign. Your website is costing you opportunities. Have you ever wondered or worried that maybe you've lost clients to a competitor who has a better website? Or had someone say, hey, I wasn't sure you were still in business. Maybe you've missed out on a partnership or a collaboration opportunity because your site didn't look professional enough. And maybe you've been excluded from, or even worse, didn't even apply to be listed in some directories or in featured articles because your site didn't meet the standards. And maybe you aren't charging premium prices because your site doesn't look premium. These are all things that are hard to see. Sometimes we can quantify them, but sometimes we can't. But sometimes we ignore what we can't see or don't want to see. Things like how many people have visited your website and immediately left? How many referrals checked you out but went elsewhere? And how many collaborations were you not considered for? How much credibility are you losing daily because of this? These are opportunity costs. Is every month that you wait to make updates and to address these issues, you are losing opportunities. Hey, I know I've been there myself, but if you think about it, is taking some time to redesign your website and make it better could bring you even one additional ideal client per quarter? What would that be worth? Potentially more than the cost of that redesign itself. So where's the tipping point? It's when the cost of not redesigning your site exceeds the cost of actually doing it. So if you think you're at that point, then it's time. So let's recap our 8 signs that it might be time for a website redesign. Number 1, your website looks outdated, unprofessional. It's not mobile friendly. It doesn't reflect your current business. It's not converting. You're embarrassed to share it. You can't update it yourself. It's hurting your SEO. And finally, it's costing you real revenue generating opportunities. If you've checked off more than 3 of these, then it's likely your website is actively holding you back. Now, recognizing that you need a redesign and be ready to invest are 2 different things. If you watched my last video about readiness, you know the questions that you need to ask yourself. But here's what I want you to remember. Your website is either going to be working for you or against you every single day. There is no neutral. So if it's working against you, every day you wait to update it is another day of lost credibility and revenue generating opportunities. And I'm not here to pressure you into anything at all or to scare you. I just want you to be honest about what your current website is costing you. Sometimes we avoid facing these things because we think, I'll just deal with it later. I've got more important things to think about right now. But later has a price tag too. And it's especially if you are paying to maintain something that isn't serving your business and generating revenue. So if you're thinking, all right, Megan, I get it. I need to do a redesign, but I'm nervous about the process. Well, I want you to stay tuned because in the next video, I will be talking to you all about how a designer can bring calm and clarity to a process that most people will find very overwhelming. And now, if you're not nervous, but you're ready, you know it's time, stay tuned because later in the series, I'll be posting videos about all the questions that you should be asking a web designer before you hire them. So you'll want to watch that before you start reaching out to them. Think about it. This actually can be really exciting. A website redesign isn't just about fixing something that's broken. It's about creating something that you're genuinely proud of, that represents where you are now, and that can take you where you want to go. And that's pretty powerful. Now, if you have any questions or you'd like to share if you had any aha moments while watching this video, leave them in the comments down below. I love to hear from you. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss out on any of the rest of the series. I'm going to be breaking down everything you need to know to hire a web designer with confidence. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.